The Verge, Facebook broke Canadian privacy law, according to regulators. The Office of the Privacy Commissioner of Canada opened its investigation into Facebook's privacy practices following the Cambridge Analytica scandal last spring. Around 300,000 Facebook users across the globe downloaded This Is Your Digital Life app, which siphoned data to the political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica. That abuse of data privacy standards resulted in the disclosure of data belonging to around 87 million people and around 600,000 Canadians, according to the press release. According to the report, Facebook did not obtain meaningful consent from users to share their data with third-party apps. It did not conduct proper oversight over the apps with access to the platform, and it engaged in irresponsible behavior with consumer data. When prompted by authorities to submit to audits, Facebook refused despite already complying with U.S. data checkups. Facebook even breaks Canadian law. They just don't care. Where is it going to stop, Facebook?
Yeah.
Facebook. Too big to fine, according to Forbes. And we have a video from MSNBC. We'll cue it up right now.
In a report to investors yesterday, the social network revealed that they are setting aside billions of dollars in anticipation of those possible penalties.
The agency opened its investigation into Facebook after the Cambridge Analytica scandal broke last March. The report found 87 million users had their data scraped, eventually leading to Zuckerberg's first appearance before Congress, wearing a tie, publicly apologizing for the company's handling of
A lot of memes came out of that one. Right there.
Yeah.
A lot of memes.
I remember that.
of the scandal. But despite all of this, just remember this thing, Facebook stock surged after posting
Whoa.
strong first
Look at that. Facebook's still making
Yeah.
money?
Wow.
quarter earnings, and that is something to remember. When Facebook has two issues, they've got a public relations issue. They don't have much of a stock price issue at the moment.
And the story is a $5 billion fine. They set aside $5 billion just in case they get charged by U.S. regulators.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't want to steal your thunder on that last article because that last article mentioned the European Union, how they also fined Facebook, but it was only in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So Facebook doesn't care.
Nope. But on this MSNBC report, will the fine hurt? Let's see what they say.
Do you think this is going to have a real impact, a real dent?
Oh, Stephanie, not only do I not think it's not going to have a dent, but I think the FTC has unwittingly been sort of co-opted into being a co-conspirator in Facebook. And effectively what you have is a fine that puts aside some of the uncertainty at a price tag that Facebook can shrug off. Let's talk about numbers here. Let's say it's $3 billion. It says $3 to $5 billion. That's about 2 weeks of revenue, about 7 weeks of cash flow. So if Facebook can say,
What? They make a lot of money.
to the marketplace, we can continue to do this. We can continue to engage in this type of behavior, and it results in what is effectively a parking ticket. Then the government is no longer sort of a countervailing force to private influence and private corruption. It's now sort of been co-opted into a co-conspirator. So not only does this not deter things, this probably enables them.
I can't see how the government's a co-conspirator in that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, but if they could just shrug off a fine that you really can't regulate, how do you regulate them?
I know. And how do they make so much money again?
Yeah. Oh, on our data, you mean?
Oh.
Oh, that's crazy how they make so much money. What will hurt Facebook?
I feel when we're talking about FTC violations around privacy, we're not talking about consumer harm. We're talking about actions that might actually enable violence, that might spin up violence. And my advice to these regulatory agencies is they need to add a zero to these fines. A fine is meant to be a deterrent.
So what would adding a zero to $5 billion?
Yeah, 50 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the algebra is simple here. It's the probability of getting caught times the likely fine not being or being greater than the upside of the economics of ignoring these fines and continue to do that. And what we saw this morning is that Facebook has added $33 billion in market capitalization, or the value of Viacom and Fiat Chrysler combined, because they have said a fine is coming and it's only $3 to $5 billion.
Yeah.
So just as we need to add a zero to these fines, Alex.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is Facebook scared? Closing out this.
Yeah, I don't think they're scared at all. As a matter of fact, this morning yesterday they announced it, and again they buried it in other things. They announced their new chief legal counsel is a very talented lawyer who architected the legislation to kind of jam through the Patriot Act. So, and then Sheryl Sandberg said, this individual, Jennifer Hempstead, will help us fulfill our mission. And my question is, well, what exactly is Facebook's mission when they bring in the architect of an individual who helped get through laws that we found were unconstitutional and, quite frankly, cost us a lot of our moral authority as a nation? So there are some very frightening things here, including the fact that Facebook does not seem to be frightened at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
That's scary.
Yep. Going back to that Forbes article. Facebook too big to fine. Recode reported Bank of America agreed to pay $16.7 billion in a 2014 settlement with the Justice Department related to its activities leading up to the financial crisis. In 2013, J.P. Morgan agreed to a $13 billion settlement with the Justice Department tied to its sales of securities containing toxic mortgages. So, people get fined.
Yeah.
It happens.
But they paid a lot more.
Yeah, but they're also financial institutions. Facebook is just a company that sells your data.
Yeah.
And uses it irresponsibly.
And continues to violate your privacy.
Yep. The Verge. Google is changing how employees can report harassment and discrimination. Google faced a year of backlash from employees, culminating in 20,000 workers walking off the job in November. The workers demanded changes, and Google executives met some of those demands. CEO Sundar Pichai announced that month that the company would make arbitration optional for sexual harassment and sexual assault allegations, and it would change how employees can report harassment and discrimination. Employees can now report concerns on a dedicated website, and the company has released its internal annual misconduct report this year and expanded information on sexual harassment investigations. Google is also publicly releasing its policy on harassment and other workplace issues. This 13-page document details what qualifies as harassment, discrimination, and how Google investigates those issues. Cool. I'd like to take us back to November 2018, just because I want to remind everybody what happened. It wasn't really reported that well. A lot of people don't know about the 20,000. It was during the Me Too thing.
Yeah.
Me Too movement. 20,000 Google employees said, we've had enough. And let's hear about what happened.
Well, this morning, about 1,500 Google employees worldwide plan to walk out of work to protest the company's handling of sexual misconduct claims. The New York Times investigation last week showed how Google paid millions of dollars in exit packages to Andy Rubin and other male executives accused of misconduct. The Times says Rubin, who created the Android mobile software, was paid $90 million. Rubin's publicist said in a statement, quote, Mr. Rubin left Google on his own accord in 2014. He did not engage, nor has ever been told of any misconduct at Google or anywhere else.
Interesting. I had to dig a little deeper to find RT's report on this, to find out what the allegations were. I knew what they were. I was just looking for them.
Allegedly, the Google big shot coerced another employee into intercourse at a hotel, an accusation Andy Rubin denies.
Specifically, I never coerced a woman to have sex in a hotel room. These false allegations are part of a smear campaign by my ex-wife.
Jeez.
And here's some more.
Google's big hitters reportedly knew of the allegations, but there was no big outing for Rubin, no public shaming, no Kavanaugh-scale investigation. What happened instead? A discreet resignation letter filed by the executive, a goodbye golden handshake of a staggering $90 million, and a pat on the back from the big boss.
I want to wish Andy all the best with what's next. With Android, he created something truly remarkable, with 1 billion+ happy users.
Yeah. And then allegations against Rubin, the irony.
And the irony is that it's Google, one of the champions of the Me Too movement, and supported it by actions like creating a whole project with this eye-catching heat map for the hashtag. And note that we did not edit this in any way, including the music.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Wow. So, at least they're trying to change.
Yeah.
But dang, their employees gave them a fight.
I would like to know the details and how that program's been working.
Yeah.
of course, women are a minority in programming still, and they've been trying to change that culture. But
Yep.
of course, you don't want to create friction either. So
Not in the workplace. Not when you're making money.
yeah.
The place you're making money. In Gadget, San Francisco could be the first U.S. city to ban facial recognition tech. The San Francisco Board of Supervisors met on Tuesday to vote on the Stop Secret Surveillance Ordinance, SSSO. The ordinance seeks to impose strict limits on what forms of biometric data can be collected by the city's various departments, how and when it is used, and establishes an oversight apparatus to ensure public transparency. These requirements closely resemble similar ordinances from other Bay Area counties like Oakland and Santa Clara, but the SSSO goes a step further and flat out banning the use of facial recognition technology by local government. Should it pass muster with the Board of Supervisors, San Francisco will become the first city in the United States to ban this surveillance technology. The ordinance goes on to define surveillance technology as any any software, electronic device, system utilizing an electronic device or similar device used, designed, or primarily intended to collect, retain, process, or share audio, electronic, visual, locational, thermal, biometric, or similar information specifically associated with or capable of being associated with any individual or group. That includes cell tower spoofers like Stingrays, automated license plate readers, gunshot detection systems like ShotSpotter, mobile DNA capture systems, surveillance cameras, including body-worn cameras, X-ray vans, RFID scanners, and a multitude of hacking tools and software that allow illicit entry into secured computers and networks. Whew!
Jeez.
It's a lot of things
Yeah.
that they are trying to ban. They're very specific about what they're going after.
And that surprised me too, because I thought people really liked these body cams since, now there's a recording, at least from the police's perspectives. And
Yeah, body cams, I feel protect, or you talk to people, they protect both us and the police.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that they would also go after body
why
cams.
is that? That's oddly specific.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
There's just so many different factors.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just surprised they would have something so broad. So I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see if it passes. Tech Radar. This super soft headband is designed to gently rewire your bad sleeping habits. And we have a clip.
TSG.
Dreem 2.
Polysomnography. The
Sleep
only
clinic
accurate way to
reinvented.
analyze sleep. Until now. Thanks, guys. Introducing Dreem. Want to see how we do it? Sensors. 5 on the front, 2 on the back. That work through your hair. They measure your brainwaves, heart rate, and movement. Everything you need to understand your sleep. Sent to your phone every morning. What about comfort? Made of foam and fabric, Dreem is super soft, so you can sleep in any position. It fits all heads. It's flexible and very lightweight. Another tracker? No. There's sound, too. Headphones? Come on. Bone conduction.
Here we go.
So only you can hear audio features designed to help you fall asleep. For better sleep.
Pretty rad.
Night after night. Dreem 2. Sleep Clinic. Reinvented.
Dreem has 2 parts, the headband itself and its accompanying app, Dreem Coach. The headband gathers biometric data as you sleep, tracking your brain activity, heart rate, and head movement. It's much more accurate than a smartwatch, more like a sleep lab, but without having to spend the night in a strange bed with electrodes taped to your face. This information is transmitted to Dreem Coach, which also asks you a series of questions about your sleeping patterns during the day. After 7 nights, it combines the biometric data with your survey answers to create a detailed sleep report just for you with tailored recommendations. The Dreem Band doesn't just track your vitals, it can also help you drift into sleep with gentle sound and use pink noise at specific intervals to improve dream sleep. The second iteration of the band is available for pre-order or order now for $450. There it is. What do you think?
That's a lot of money.
Well, it's going to help you sleep. Don't
Yeah.
you?
I mean, in trials, they showed that this band was about 83% effective in being accurate for measuring brain activity. So you can track your, REM sleeping patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But as was that with anything, I worry about privacy.
What about the sound?
Yeah, the sound thing was also pretty interesting. It's an old technology. They were really pushing how they perfected it this time around.
What's the technology called? Do you remember?
It's
Is it bone
conduction hearing.
Conduction technology. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have speakers, conduction speakers, or speakers that you have to hold up to walls and stuff to hear, where you hold them up to your head.
Yeah, it's the same concept,
Yeah.
just transmitting the waves from
It's pretty cool.
physically. But they said a minor side effect of bone conduction could be headaches in some people. So, kind of makes sense.
Yep, sure does. Thank you so much for watching. For more Healthy Talk Show, please consider subscribing to our podcast over at healthytalkshow.com/subscribe. It's free. Twitter and Instagram at Healthy Talk Show, drop the W. We record the podcast live Mondays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at healthytalkshow.com/live. Love and light.